morning. Happy Saturday, everyone. So as I mentioned, we are going to start with a short meditation today. But because it's quite cold, we're going to do a little bit of movement. So just place your hands on your knees. And first coming into the space, so I'm going to invite you to close your eyes. Inhale in through the nose. Exhale, side out through the mouth. Really drop down into your body. Inhale. Exhale, side out. One more, inhale. Exhale, sighing it out. And just remaining with your eyes closed. And notice if you can become aware of the sounds around you. Yourself seated on the ground. So gently opening your eyes. Before we come into our meditation, I want you to be quite comfortable. So we're just going to do some spirals. So just rocking from side to start. And then when you're ready, coming into your spiral, so choosing a direction. We do spirals and sighs and all this kind of stuff to just help gently wake up the body. This is kind of the stuff we did when we were little. Spiraling on the ground, sighing out, rolling through the body. Yoga is really about just coming back to yourself. And then we're going to spiral in the other direction. So just rocking from side to side, and then spiraling in the other direction. Just noticing how it feels. Notice if there's any tight spots. Then making those spirals smaller and smaller until you come to a complete stop. You may choose to keep your eyes closed. We're going to come into a brief meditation. So you want to make sure that you're comfortable if you need to. You might want to grab a blanket or a little pillow just to prop your hips up on. This is only going to be a short meditation, like 2 minutes, but if you were going to meditate for longer, we want to make sure that your knees are lower than your hips because it can be quite uncomfortable to sit for quite a long time. And you can either have your legs crossed, or I like to have one leg quite in close to my body and the other leg out in front so that my ankles aren't crossed over, because I know if I sit in meditation for quite a while, I will get sore in my ankles. So for this, I'm actually going to show you, I use an app which you probably can't see from here called Insight Timer, and I use this every morning. And the great thing about this is that you can set it to any time frame you want. So I'm literally putting us through 2 minutes today, a really nice introductory meditation. And the great thing about Insight Time is you can also set little bells. So I can set a bell for the start and set a bell for the 2-minute mark so that I can stay focused on the meditation as well. So make sure you are comfortable and make sure you are warm, because you do cool down when you stop. So you can place your hands on your knees, hands facing downwards. Or if you have a preference to bring your thumb and forefinger together and have your fingers towards the sky, you could do that. You can even bring your palms down into your lap, whatever feels comfortable for you. So first of all, I invite you to close your eyes. And just notice yourself on the mat. Notice how you're seated. Notice if you can feel both hip bones pressing down into the earth. Notice if the shoulders are rounded, maybe perhaps just lifting the shoulders up rolling the shoulders back to open up the chest a little. Slightly lengthening the back of the neck by tucking the head down. Imagine you've got a piece of string holding up the top of the head, so we're feeling length from the spine. Feeling ourselves grounding down into the earth and a slight lengthening at the top of the spine. Next, becoming aware of your breath. Notice if you're breathing up high into the chest, if you're feeling any tension. See if you can invite the breath down to the base of the ribs, down to the belly. See if you can just stay focused on your breath, perhaps focusing on the rise and fall of the chest. And if your thoughts begin to wander, just say the word to yourself, thinking. Gently guide your attention back to the breath. We're going to start. You're just focusing on your breath. Focusing on the exhalation. And if your thoughts begin to wander, just say the word thinking to yourself to bring yourself back. If your thoughts have wandered off, say the word thinking to bring your thoughts back to your breath. Come back to your breath. And when you're ready, becoming aware of the space around you, keeping your eyes closed, just become aware of the mat, the sensation of the mat beneath you, the air around you. Anything you can hear, anything you can sense. Gently opening your eyes when you're ready, coming back into the space. And noticing how you feel. Notice the rhythm of your breath. Has it changed? We've been sitting on the ground for close to 10 minutes. We did 2 minutes of meditation. And just notice in that time how perhaps your thoughts may have quietened a little. Your breath may have deepened. You may be feeling a little more at ease. We're just going to gently move the body. So this time we're going to just bring the arms out in front, sweep across, and then open up that top shoulder. Sweep arm across, let the other one trail across in front. So be really almost like lagging with your body. Your arms do the work and the body kind of just follows. So really slow, gentle, waking up through the shoulders. So this class we're going to focus a little bit on shoulders, so just make sure you do spend time waking them up and then hold on the side, turning your chest towards the ceiling, looking underneath the arm if you can. Keep the opposite hip down towards the ground and sweep along, and then open the other arm up towards the ceiling. Keep your opposite hip down towards the ground. You can have a bend in this top arm. And then bring both arms down. Place your hands on your knees, roll your shoulders up and back. Roll them backwards. And then roll them towards the front. Always need to work a bit slowly when it's colder because we don't want to shock the body. And then up towards the ears and drop. Up towards the ears and drop. One more and drop. Take your hands, clasp the hands, push your hands away from you and lift them up. Feel that stretch through the body. Be as tall as you can. And then release, bring them behind you, clasp the hands behind you and then begin to lift up. Draw the shoulder blades down the back of the body. Squeeze the shoulders together. Good. A little bit of a wriggle. We're going to make our way down to the mat. So make sure you've got a strap or a scarf or a belt nearby. Keep yourself warm as long as you need to. Once you're there, we're going to gently draw the knees in towards the chest. So just squeezing the knees in and a slight release. Draw the knees down as you do. Exhale out. Inhale to release. Exhale, draw down. Draw your tailbone down towards the ground. Create length along the spine. Inhale, release. Exhale, draw the knees in. Inhale to release. Keep your hands on your knees. Draw your big toes together and then circle your knees out and away from you like you're swimming as if you were a frog. So just waking up the hips. Notice how they feel. And circling the other way. Massaging the lower back. Draw them into the chest. Take the strap, hook it over your right foot, over the ball of the right foot. Remember, if you don't have a strap, you can just grab behind this thigh here. Either keep your left knee bent and foot flat, or extend that leg and draw the toes towards you. You can bend this top leg as well. Make sure your elbows aren't up into the air, so let the elbows relax on the ground. So you want to make sure that the strap is long enough for that. Then extend your heel a little higher towards the sky, feeling that stretch through the calf and the back of the leg. begin to point and flex. Inhale to point, exhale to draw back. Inhale, point the toes, exhale, draw the toes back. Mimicking your upward dog and downward dog motion of the toes. We're going to circle in one direction. And I'm not circling the whole leg, I'm actually isolating it at the ankle. So just go slowly as you need to, and then circling the other way. Take both straps into your left hand. Extend your right arm along the ground and allow the right leg to twist across the body. Either look towards the ceiling or look back towards your hand, whatever feels good on your neck. You may need to bend your right knee depending on what obstacles you have around you. Or also you may want to bend it just because your leg just doesn't feel good being extended right now. Listen to your body. Then take that leg up to center and then switching over legs. So bring your left foot into the strap and either bend your right knee, place the foot flat, or extend that leg and draw the toes towards you. We want to keep the toes drawn towards us to keep this leg active. If we let this leg just flop out to the side, there's no stability in the pelvis. And we want to keep stability in our pelvis for these things. So wherever you are, make sure your elbows are on the ground. Extend your left leg a little bit higher, left heel towards the sky. Feel that stretch. Then beginning to point and flex. Inhale to point, exhale to draw the toes back. You might want to roll through the foot, so one toe at a time. And if you're not quite there, just visualize the rolling. Toes have a mind of their own sometimes. And we're going to circle in one direction, taking care to just circle the ankle, and then circling the other way. Take both straps into your right hand, extend your left arm along the ground. Allow the left leg to twist across the body and either look towards the ceiling or look back towards your hand. Just coming into a gentle twist. And then take that leg up to center, remove the strap and draw the knees in towards the chest. Give them a squeeze. Circle both knees together, massaging the lower back. And then circling in the other direction. Getting ready for our core work. So bringing your legs up, bending at the knees and bringing your feet into a 90-degree position, so like a tabletop. And then look towards your belly as you peel your head, neck and shoulders off the ground. Extend your arms forward, palms facing each other. If there's any tension in the head or neck, place your hands behind the head. Now breathe in. Expand the side and back of the ribs. As you exhale, draw the belly towards the spine. Inhale, expand the side and back of the ribs. Exhale, draw the belly towards the spine. Inhale, expand the side and back of the ribs. Exhale, draw the belly towards the spine. Inhale. This time as you exhale, draw up through pelvic floor. Imagine you're drawing water up through the center of you and then draw the belly towards the spine. One more. Inhale, expand the side and back of the ribs. Exhale, draw up through pelvic floor. Draw the belly towards the spine. Relax the head on the ground. Cross your legs over at the ankles. And then if it feels good for your back, rocking up and down the body till you come over into a 4-point pose, which which is where your knees are on the ground and you look like a table twin. So our wrists are beneath our shoulders, our knees are beneath our hips. If you have any tension or discomfort in the shoulders or the wrists, place your hands one hand length in front, and that just takes a little bit of pressure off the wrists and the shoulders. So coming into our cat-cow, so you're going to draw the shoulder blades down the back of the body as the chest draws down and then the head begins to look up. And then push your hands away from the floor and curl, arch the back. Push your hands away from the floor, push your back towards the sky and look towards the belly. Inhale, shoulder blades come down the back of the body, begin to gently look up. Exhale, tailbone tucks under and then we begin to arch the back and we look towards the belly as we push away from the ground. Really gently waking up the spine. Inhale, shoulder blades go down the body, tailbone comes up. Exhale, push away from the ground, tailbone drops down towards the ground and we arch the back like a cat. Couple more in your own time using your breath. Moving any direction that feels good. So you might want to do circles, you might want to come back on your heels, you might want to, whatever your body feels like it wants in this moment. Just exploring. And then coming back into the center. Draw the belly towards the spine to create stability through the core. We're just going to come into an opposite arm and leg. So draw your right leg along the ground and lift it up just to hip height. Make sure it's not too high, you're not opening up that hip. And then raise your left hand and pull your belly towards the spine to help with the balance. And then release the leg and the hand down to the ground. This time, raise the left leg. Extend your right arm in front, palm facing towards you. And down. Extend your right leg behind you. Extend your left arm in front. Bend your right knee and reach behind and see if you can grab that foot. And if you can, begin to push your foot into your hand and push your right hand into the earth to open up through the chest. Very, very gentle back bend here. Then extend your arm and leg and hold. And then release down. And the opposite side. Raise your left leg, draw your right arm in front. Bend your left knee, reach behind if you can to grab the top of that foot. Then if you're there, begin to push your foot into your hand. Push your left hand into the earth to open up through the chest. And then extend the arm and the leg and hold. Draw the toes towards you, pulling through the belly. And then release down. Coming back into child's pose. So bring your big toes to touch, bring your knees out as wide as the mat and sit back on your heels. Either keep your hands forward or bring one fist on top of the other fist and rest your head on your hands. Breathing in, 2, 3, and out, 2, 3. In, 2, 3, and out, 2, 3. So we're going to come up into a seated position. So however that feels good for you to come up, I'm just going to face you because it's going to be easier for you to see. We're going to be sitting for a while, so find something that's comfortable, find a position that's comfortable. You might feel comfortable in a kneeling position. You might want to sit on a block or sit on a little cushion, or you may be just comfortable sitting on the floor, whatever feels good. Remember, listen to your body. So we're doing a little bit of shoulder and neck range of motion exercises. First of all, before we start, I want you to see where your range of motion is today. So just gently place your right hand on your knee with the palm facing away from you. Place your left hand behind your body and just twist your body, twist your neck as far as it'll go, and just see what you can see. And there's no pushing, there's no straining, so just remember what you can see. And then do that on the opposite side. So bring your left hand across in front of your right knee, palm facing away, your right hand behind you. Slightly lift up the sternum and then just turn to look at what you can see behind you. Okay. And then come back into the center. And just remember those bits. Bring your arms out to the side. And what you're going to do is you're going to turn your hands slowly towards the ceiling. So we're turning the thumbs up towards the ceiling, the first finger towards the ceiling, the second, the third, the fourth. So we're rotating the arms. And then just release that slightly. Bring the arms down. Now, if anything feels too strong on your shoulders or on your neck, do take these things at your own pace. And you can always have your arms quite low as well. So bring your arms out to the side. Begin to rotate the thumb up. The first fingers, you can close your eyes if you wish. The second, the third, and the little finger. Feel that stretch across the chest. Good. And this time, draw your arms into the center so that your right elbow crosses on top of the left. And once you're there, draw your elbows down towards the chest and bow your head down. Becoming aware of the breath at the back of the body. So almost as if you can visualize your shoulder blades moving out to the sides when you inhale. And as you exhale, they draw back to the center. So you inhale, the shoulder blades move out towards the sides. Exhale, they draw in. And gently nod your head for no. When I say gently, I mean tiny, like the most imperceptible movement. Only you are aware of it. And then shake your head for no, I mean, and nod your head for yes. Tiny, tiny, tiny movements in the neck. Gently lift your head. Keep your arms crossed where they are. And if you can, begin to lift the elbows up and draw the hands away from you. Now look directly over your left shoulder and hold. Feel that stretch along the side of the neck. Feels so good. I've been doing a lot of sitting at my desk, so it's nice to do this kind of stuff. And then I want you to look down towards your left armpit, almost like you want to sniff your armpit. I can't give you a better analogy than that. So it's like a counter, trying to think of the words I want to give you here. Diagonal stretch for the neck. And then look up towards the left, directly left. And then back to the center and hold. Then look over towards the right. Straight over the right shoulder. Feel Breathe into any tight spaces. Look down towards your right armpit. Imagine you're sniffing your armpit. Feel that stretch on the side of the neck. Look directly right. Come back to the center. And then gently release. Give yourself a bit of a wiggle there. It's quite strong this move. Roll the shoulders back. Roll them forwards. Shoulders up towards the ears, drop. Up towards the ears, drop. One more, and drop. Clasp the hands, turn them away from you, raise them up. Feel that length through the body. Release them out to the sides, bring them behind you. Clasp the opposite fingers than what you did at the start. Draw the shoulder blades down the back of the body. Squeeze the shoulders together and then begin to lift up. Feel that stretch across the front of the chest. Then release down. Slight twist. Bring your left hand across in front of your right knee, so left palm facing outwards, right hand behind you. Slightly lift the sternum and then look over the shoulder. Very gentle. Then going, twisting the other direction. Right palm in front of the left knee, right palm facing outwards. Lift up through the sternum and come into a twist. And then up. Place your hands on your knees for a moment just to recenter. Breathe in and out. We're going to do that one more time. So bring your arms out to the side. Remember, you can just have them quite low, so you want to be nice and relaxed in the shoulders. We don't want our shoulders up towards our ears. We want to draw the shoulder blades down the back of the body. Close your eyes if you wish and begin to turn your thumb towards the back of the room. The first finger, the second, the third, and the little finger. Opening up through the chest. And then release that for a moment. Allow the hands to curl down towards the ground. And then again. Open up through the thumb, the first finger, the second, the third, the fourth. Feeling that stretch. Good. And then bringing your arms across in front. This time bringing the left elbow across in top of the right elbow. Draw your elbows down in towards the chest. Curl your body down. Lower your head down. Become aware of breath at the back of your body. As you inhale, the shoulder blades moving out towards the sides. As you exhale, the shoulder blades drawing towards the center. Inhale, shoulder blades move out. Exhale, shoulder blades draw in. Keep your head bowed and gently shake your head for no. Tiny, tiny movement. Tiny nod for yes. Working those tiny muscles at the back of the neck. And then lift your head up. And if it feels comfortable for you, lift your elbows up. Draw your hands away from you. This time we're going to look over our right shoulder. So we look towards the right and hold. Feel the stretch along the back of the neck. Look down towards the right armpit. Look towards the right. Back to the center, hold. over to the left, directly left. To the left armpit. To the left. Back to the center. And gently release down. And give yourself a bit of a wiggle. And a bit of a massage if you want. It's quite strong on the shoulders. But this is a really beautiful exercise you can do. If you have any tension in the shoulders, or sometimes you wake up in your necks just feeling like not good, you can come back to this sequence because it is recorded and do this sequence. Start from the starter class because it's always good to warm up the body gently. But definitely this kind of stuff is so good for helping to release the neck and shoulders. So roll the shoulders back. Roll them forwards. Up towards the ears. Drop. Up. Drop. One more. And drop. And I invite you now to check your range of motion, see if there's been any change. So bring your right hand across in front of the left knee, bring your left hand behind you, extend up through the sternum, and then just look behind and see, yep, I can see a little bit further. It's pretty cool. And then back to the center, and then go the other direction. Bring your hand across in front of the knee, lift up through the sternum, and twist. And then go. It always amazes me that this has such a dramatic change. But yeah. Just work the body, wake up the muscles slowly, and you will find more flexibility and movement through the body. So we're going to make our way up to a downward dog. And just rocking on your knees forward, bring your hands down to the ground. Lift your hips towards the sky and begin to pedal out your feet. So just working one heel down at a time. Holding your downward dog, push your hands into the earth, rotate the armpits towards each other, lift the tailbone up, a slight bend in the knees. Come down on your knees for a moment, and I'm going to show you the convoluted dog. So this is that nice rolling motion that we do, and it helps you to understand how to link poses together and how to come into contact with the ground. So I'll show you first. So I come into downward dog. I bend the knees, I bring my weight forward into plank, and I push my tailbone up towards the sky. I bend the knees, I bring the weight forward, and I push the tailbone up towards the sky. So I invite you to come into downward dog. So everyone, bend your knees, bring your weight forward, push the tailbone up towards the sky. Bend the knees, bring the weight forward, push the tailbone up, bend, come forward, push up and hold. We're going to go in the opposite direction. So from here, we come up on the toes, bring the weight forward to plank, bend the knees, and I push my hands into the earth to come back into downward dog. I come up on the toes, I come forward to plank, I bend the knees, and I push my hands away from the earth to come back into downward dog. A couple more, up on the toes, forward to plank, bend, push back, up on the toes, forward, bend, push back. Holding in downward dog. And then walk your hands back towards your feet and forward fold. Press your elbows. Make your head for no. Nod your head for yes. Grasp the opposite elbows, feel that stretch across the back of the body. Come into a half lift, look up, shoulder blades back, create length and extension across the spine, and then fold forward. Inhale, half lift, look up, shoulder blades back. Exhale, fold. half lift, inhale, look up, shoulder blades back. Exhale, fold. Keep your knees bent. Push your feet into the earth and then roll up through the spine one vertebra at a time, almost like you're stacking Lego on top of each other. Head is the last to rise, and then the arms rise. Look towards the hands. Exhale as you melt down through the center of the body and walk your hands out into plank. Wrists beneath the shoulders, push your heels out, pull your belly towards the spine. Lower the knees. We're going to come down to the ground, so lower down to the ground, into Sphinx. So once you're there, bring your elbows just in front of your shoulders. Push your forearms into the earth and lift the chest. And then bring your head back down, bring your hands beneath your shoulders, push your hands into the earth, come back into downward dog. Walk your hands back towards your feet and then forward fold. Make sure your weight is forward over your toes rather than hanging back in your heels. It will help you fold further forward. Inhale, half lift, look up, shoulder blades back. Exhale, fold. Push your feet into the earth. Keep your knees bent. Roll up through the spine, one vertebra at a time. Head is the last to come up, and the arms rise. Look up, inhale. Exhale, melt down through the center of the body. Walk your hands out into plank. Wrists beneath the shoulders. Push out through the heels, pulling through the belly. Lower the knees. Lower down to the ground. Coming into Sphinx. Bring your elbows just in front of your shoulders. Push your forearms into the earth. Lift the chest. Lower your head. Bring your hands beneath your shoulders. Push back into downward dog. Walk your hands back towards your feet. Forward fold. Inhale, half lift, look up. Exhale, fold. Push your feet into the earth, roll up through the body. Arms rise. Exhale, melt down towards the earth. Walk your hands out into plank and hold. Either stay in plank or go down to your knees. Another option here is to bring your knees down to the ground and go into upward dog. So from here, I lift my toes and then my elbow comes just as far as my ribs. So it looks like this. My toes rise, I lower down, the elbows brush the ribs, I push the top of the feet into the mat to lift the legs and then open up through the chest. And then I'll come back into downward dog. So I'll join you. You should all be with your knees on the ground. So either go down to the ground in Sphinx, which is where you come all the way down to the ground and push your forearms into the earth, lift the chest, or follow me in upward dog. So from here, raise the toes. Elbows brush the ribs. Push the top of the feet into the mat, lift the legs off the ground, push into the mat, open up the chest. Everyone exhale back into downward dog. Inhale, bend your knees. Exhale, pull the belly towards the spine. Inhale, look towards the front as you step towards the front of the mat. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands to the heart. So we're going to do a couple of rounds of sun salutations. Bring your feet to the top of the mat, feet hip width apart, hands at your heart. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, melt down through the center of the body. Inhale, half lift, look up, shoulder blades come back. Exhale, fold, step back into plank. Lower the knees. Either lower all the way down to the ground in Sphinx or follow me in upward dog. For upward dog, raise the toes, elbows brush the ribs, push into the earth at the top of the feet, open up through the chest. Exhale back, downward dog. Inhale, bend your knees. Exhale, pull the belly towards the spine. Inhale, look towards the front as you step towards the front of the mat. Exhale, forward. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands to the heart. We're going to do that one more time. Starting with your hands at your heart. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, look up. Exhale, fold. Step back into your plank. Lower the knees. Either go down to the ground in Sphinx or go into upward dog. For upward dog, raise the toes. Elbows brush the ribs. Push into the earth at the top of the feet. Lift the legs. Open up, upward dog. Exhale, back. Downward dog. Inhale, bend your knees. Exhale, pull the belly towards the spine. Inhale, look towards the front as you step towards the front of the mat. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands to the heart. Gently closing the eyes. Becoming aware of your breath. Becoming aware of your heart rate. Feeling yourself standing on the earth. So this time we're coming into a variation, so sun salutation B. So for here we're coming into chair pose, so we're squeezing our thighs together and you are sweeping down along the earth and sitting back like you're in a chair. So I want to make sure that my hips aren't tipping up, but I'm just allowing the tailbone to drop down towards the ground and I'm sitting my hips back. So I'm feeling those hip creases go back like I'm sitting back in a chair. Now for here I can either raise my arms up or I can bring my hands to my heart. And then I'm going to fold forward. Inhale, half lift, look up. Exhale, fold. Step back into your downward dog and come into plank. Now this is called going through a flow. So what we do is we option to lower the knees, come down to the ground in Sphinx, or upward dog. Raise the toes, elbows brush the ribs, inhale into upward dog, exhale back, downward dog. From here, raise your right leg. Bring your knee towards your chest, pull the belly towards the spine. Bring the weight forward, step the foot in between the hands, and then coming up into warrior one. So back foot is at 45 degrees. Front knees at 90 degrees. Arms rise or come to the chest. I'm pivoting my hips towards the front. I feel my legs stretching the mat beneath me. Bring both hands down to the ground. Raise that front foot up. Bring it down to the ground in downward dog. Option to hold in downward dog or go for a flow, which means to come forward into plank. Lower the knees, raise the toes. Coming into upward dog and back into downward dog. Raise the left leg. Bring the knee towards the chest, pull the belly towards the spine, bring the weight forward and then step that foot between the hands. You can always kick it up and just bring it a little bit further forward. Coming up into warrior one. Back foot at 45, front knee is at 90 degrees. Either arms raised or to the heart, pivoting your hips towards the front. Feel as if you're stretching the mat with your legs. Bring the hands down to the ground. Raise that front leg up. Bring it down in downward dog. Either hold in downward dog, go for a flow, or you can always rest in child, which is where you bring your big toes together, knees out to the side, sit back on the heels, either arms forward in front, or resting one fist on top of the other fist. And wherever you are, coming back into downward dog. We're going to go a little further this time. So raise the right leg. Bring the knee towards the chest, set the foot in between the hands. Warrior one. Back foot at 45, front knee is at 90 degrees. Open the hands out to warrior two. Back foot to 90 degrees, front knee goes to 90 degrees. Bring your front elbow into your front knee and open your top shoulder up. Create one long line from the little toes to the little fingers. Make sure you're not leaning too much into this front knee and begin to open up that top shoulder. If that's strong on your shoulder, if you want to, you can bring your hand behind you to come into a half bind. We're aiming for the top of this front thigh here. Bend into your front knee a little bit more. And wherever you are, come back into warrior two. Cartwheel both hands down towards the ground. Raise that front foot up. Lower it down in downward dog. And either go for a flow, hold in downward dog, lower down to the ground, or rest in child. Whatever feels good for you. So from downward dog, raising your left leg this time. Bring the knee towards the chest, pull the belly towards the spine, set the foot in between the hands. Remember, you can lift it and pick it up. Dragging those few extra inches. Coming up into warrior one. Back foot is at 45 degrees. Front knee is at 90 degrees. Hips pivoting towards the front. Either raise the arms or bring them to the heart. Open out to warrior two. Back foot comes to 90 degrees. Hands come out to the sides. Look out over the middle finger. Bring your front elbow down to your knee. Open the top arm up. Feel as if you are stretching one long line from the little fingers to the little toes. Or bring that hand behind you, coming into the half bind. Drawing through your core so don't collapse on this front knee. Opening up through the top shoulder. Wherever you are, coming back into warrior two and hold. Cartwheel both hands down. Raise the front foot up. Go back into downward dog. Opposite to holding downward dog. Go for a flow or rest in child. Everyone in downward dog, inhale, bend your knees. Exhale, pull the belly towards the spine. Inhale, look towards the front as you step towards the front of the mat. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands to the heart. Gently closing the eyes. Becoming aware of your breath. Becoming aware of your heart rate. Starting at the top of the mat, we're making our way down to the ground. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, look up. Exhale, fold, step back into downward dog. Option to go for a flow through or just rest in downward dog. Everyone from downward dog, we're just going to cross one ankle in front and the other ankle, and then gracefully sit down, coming into our forward fold. So we're going to start with both feet facing forward. You can sit on a block if you want to help you with your hips. So whenever you're doing forward folds, we don't want to be sitting back on our tailbone, because then we get this curl through the spine, which is really not good. So that's why I encourage you to sit up, but you want to be able to lean forward so that the hips are actually tipping forward. And also keeping a bend in the knees helps you. So if I try and do this straight, I kind of get to there. So keeping my knees bent helps me to keep my hips tilting, which is really nice. I can also grab a strap to help with forward folds. So wherever you are, whether you're on a block, I want to make sure that your hips are actually sort of up and out, so they're tilting forwards. We're going to start with our hands beside our feet. We're going to do 3 rolls along the ground to come into position. So draw your hands along the ground, draw them up through the body, and then fold forward. Draw the hands along the ground, up through the body, and fold. One more, along the ground, up through the body as high as you can, and then fold forward. And draw your chest towards your toes, draw your toes towards you. Grab a strap if you want. And then just breathe into any tight spaces. Inhale. On your exhale, you can see if you can just inch out that tiny bit further. Inhale. Exhale, inching out that tiny bit further. And then releasing your hands. We're going to make our way down onto our back. So make sure you're in the middle of your mat. And just making your way slowly down to the ground. Draw your belly towards your spine. 1 vertebra at a time. And when you're on the ground, stretch your arms overhead, side out. Feels so good. Stretch one arm, opposite foot, and release. Other opposite, and release. Both, and release. Really good. And we're just going to come into a gentle twist to finish. So whatever feels good for you. You might want to just bring your feet out as wide as the mat, bring the knees out to the side, bring the arms out to the side, and just windscreen wiper from one side to the other. If you want to go into a different twist, you are welcome to, but wherever you are, everyone finding a side and resting on that side. Either look towards the ceiling or look back towards your opposite hand. And draw the knees up to center wherever you are and twist over to the other side. Draw the knees up to center. And draw them into your chest. And begin to circle them both to massage the lower back. Circle in the other direction. And a little squeeze. And then release them, getting ready for Shavasana. Make sure you've got something warm on you, so you might want to pop a blanket or a scarf over you just to keep your body warm. Now when you're ready, releasing one leg out to the ground and the other leg out, down to the ground. Feeling your head resting on the earth. giving the weight of your body to the earth. Shavasana. Gently becoming aware of the sound of my voice, anything you can hear, anything you can sense. Slowly wiggling the fingers and the toes, allowing movement and sensation to slowly come back into the body. Taking your breath into the belly, circling the ankles and the wrists, stretching your arms overhead, taking deep breaths, and when you're ready, rolling over onto your right hand side, keeping your eyes closed. Pushing yourself up into a seated position, placing your hands on your knees, just doing some gentle spirals. Keep your eyes closed if you wish. And spiraling the other direction. Making those spirals smaller and smaller until you come to a complete stop. I'm just going to do one more little spiraling type move. I invite you to place your hand at the base of your head, where your head and your neck connect, and feel that prominent bone. So it's quite, it juts out quite prominent. Now what you're going to do is I want you to just remember that spot where it is on your body, and then you're going to imagine that you have a 20-cent piece just in front of your nose. So it's like in the a circle in the air just in front of you. So the size of a 20-cent piece, just visualize that. And then close your eyes, and I want you to trace that 20-cent piece with your nose. So bring your hands down to your knees to relax the knees, relax the shoulders, slightly lift the chest. So visualize that 20-cent piece just in front of your nose and begin to trace around that with your nose. Just a couple of times, and then go in the other direction. And then release and let that go. Notice how you feel. Notice if there's any difference to how you feel now compared to the start of class. Now either keep your hands on your knees or bring your hands to your heart. we're going to seal our practice with 3 sweet poems. So I invite you to think of someone that you want to send a little love to. It could be a person that you know, it could be an animal that's going through a hard time, it could be a world cause, it could be lockdowns and curfews and division and everything. So I invite you to send out a little love. Inhale to begin. May all beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all beings have happiness and the causes for happiness. Thank you for joining me for this beautiful practice of yoga. Thank you to all my teachers.